What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy Judeo, and I'm back again with a new video. Today we're bringing a clip from the Vibewithjudeo podcast, and this one is titled "He's Not Some Madman, He's a Very Logical Actor," Andrew Tate on Putin. This one from the title is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be interesting, especially considering the fact that people have different takes on Putin, and some people really think he's a madman. And if Andrew Tate doesn't think so, let's hear why. Without wasting your time, let's get to it.
Do you follow the political climate in the U.S.?
I have recently become apolitical. I have so little faith in either side of the system that I am now absolutely and utterly apolitical. I do not have any opinions on anything. I'm an apolitical person because I feel like it's two sides of the same coin.
Say two sides of the same coin. That's a nice way to put it. An interesting way to put it.
Doesn't matter who it is. Left, right, middle, it's the same thing.
Oh, the same.
I think from an ideological perspective, it's nice to have certain figures because it certainly inspires the morale of the sensible as opposed to the morale of the insane. I believe that.
I like his choice of words. Inspire the morale of the sensible as opposed to inspire the morale of the...
However, I believe that the power structures are set up in such a way that the president doesn't truly matter. I don't know if you saw, there's an interview with Putin when Trump first became president. You can find it on YouTube. He said something very interesting. He said, "What do you think about Trump? Trump has all these ideas about Russia and how he wants to change the world, etc." And Putin said, I think he said 4. I've sat through 4 US presidents so far. They all come with very interesting ideas, and then the men with the black suits and the briefcases come and explain to them how things are done, and then they leave, and I'm still here, and nothing really changes. Putin said. Putin understands.
Ooh.
And I think for this reason...
Did Putin really say that? I would like to watch that interview. I'd like to watch it. And also, guys, please let me know if you think that is true. Is there like a system actually controlling the presidential seat or the presidency? Because that's what he's saying. He's basically saying the president is just controlled by the system or some actual people leading. I don't know, I've heard that in multiple contexts, but that's what he's saying here.
Winning a vote is nice to say ha-ha to the other side. Winning a vote is nice to say, look, there's still some common sense in the world. It's certainly a morale boost from the actual skin and bones, from the actual blood and grit of how it would change society. I don't think it changes anything. And for that reason, and because I don't want to be suicided, I am absolutely not apolitical. I'm apolitical.
Do you put him as the most powerful man in the world, Putin? Is he at the top, or you put Xi ahead of him?
My view on Putin is very controversial. Will I wrap this up?
I want to hear it.
I think Putin is misunderstood.
Okay. Why?
I think he's a misunderstood man.
Why? Tell us.
I think that he's been in power for a very long time. I think he's extremely smart. I think he genuinely cares about Russia and Russians above
as he
other
should.
countries.
As he should. He's the president of Russia, so he should.
We're living in a world now where it's very interesting to see European leaders self-implode and self-destruct their own gas prices, their own governments, their own businesses, their own populaces' living standards because of some idealistic notion that they need to help a nation that they have no direct link to. If I'm a leader of X country, I should be concerned about X country more than I'm concerned about the plight of whatever country. That's my duty and job. I think it's very interesting that most politicians in the world today don't seem to give a shit at all about their constituents. They care about aligning themselves to higher ideologies and self-imploding their own countries and the living standards for this ideology.
Yeah.
Putin does.
I see this in Africa too. Lots of African countries too. I see this a lot in African countries. I'm not going to call countries, but I do see this a lot too.
Doesn't do that. It's Russia first, Russia. Russians, Russia. Russians, Russian. And for that, I respect him. Most other countries don't do that and won't do that. So I find that very, very interesting about him. I think the current situation is absolutely and utterly unfortunate. I think what happened is terrible. War on all sides is always terrible, terrible. I think it's unfair that we discussed Ukraine at length when this has been happening across the Middle East and Africa for decades and nobody ever gave a shit. But now people seem to give a shit about proxy wars and unfair conflicts and people dying. It's always been happening and nobody cared because they're brown or black. But now we care because they're white Europeans and their chicks are hot. So I think there's a degree of...
He had to spice it up and the chicks are hot.
of hypocrisy there. He's certainly not the bad guy everyone's saying he is. He has a point, and his point is logical and it makes sense, and he has a point to defend. And I think that to a degree he was forced into make the moves he was made. And
Do you have a unique perspective with Ukraine being a neighboring of your Romania and like Zelensky and Putin going back and forth?
it is unique. Yeah, like there's obviously good and bad on both sides. Nobody's completely innocent, and those are the worst kind of conflicts. Because when you have a good guy,
I said the same thing, and I was fight for it. Yeah, you can't be completely innocent when nobody's like right out wrong or correct. I don't know if that makes sense.
a bad guy, it's simple, right? But life's never that simple. One guy A has some good points and some bad points. Guy B has some good points and some bad points. Innocents always suffer in the end. The people at the top don't even suffer. And it's really unfortunate. War's always been the same. World War II is the same. The generals sit and have dinner after millions have been massacred. It's unfortunate. And this is another thing I talk about, life as a man and status. If you get to become a general, you know, you can participate in the battle, but if you lose, you just surrender and you have to get to have a steak with the Russians and you get to go home. If you're at the bottom, you have to die with an artillery shell. So it's all once again about status. It's really unfortunate, but I certainly think that Putin is definitely not a stupid man. And I think the narrative that they point that he's some madman is bullshit. He's not crazy. He's not a madman. He's a very logical actor with points that not many people know or consider or understand why he's doing what he does. But I respect that he believes in Russia and sticks up for Russians. And I think that any leader of any country should do that. I think there was, I'm apolitical now, so I can't remember his name. But there was a recent president of the United States who said America first. And I think that anybody who prioritizes their own populace over the other populations of the world should do exactly that. I think that's their job. I think to do anything else is irresponsible. I think the Russians do it, the Chinese do it, the Indians do it. All the other superpowers to come are going to do that. And as long as you're in charge of a country and you decide to vacate the needs of your own populace.
Even America does it. I remember when I was younger, I used to hear, God bless America. You know, like America was so prioritized in every statement. When the president is dropping the speech, it's like America first. Because of that, I wanted to be American. I just wanted to be involved in this American movement, listening to rap songs and all of those things because of how much the American government or presidents loved America. So I just wanted to be a part of that. Yeah, but now most countries are just trying to be alliance, trying to be involved in groups where they shouldn't be involved in. Lots of misplaced politics going on right now.
To please some crazy ideology, wherever it will be, it makes you non-competitive, and on a long enough time frame, you're going to lose, and that's how empires fall.
It would be very interesting if you were to have a sit down with this one president. They said America first. I don't know who you're referencing, but obviously
I can't remember his name.
I forgot. I know, but if it would happen, to be interesting.
If you enjoyed this video and you want to watch the entire podcast, click over.
My guy, Patrick Bet Davis. I like this guy. Very smart, and also he listens. He listens and asks very good questions. Yeah, I like this guy. If I meet him, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna spend the whole year with him. Anyways, that was a very good video. Interesting take. And I like his words, you know. When people say logical, people tend to mean you're in support. But from what he's saying, he said Putin is logical. His reasons are logical. It doesn't necessarily mean you condone or you would make the same moves, but it means it's logical and we understand. That's what he was trying to say. But anyways, that was a good video. Let me know what you think of Putin. Every comment he made on that video. If you have different takes, feel free to drop it in the comment section. If you have some bombs, like most of you always do, if you want to fry anybody, including myself, feel free to let me know as well in the comment section. You know, we can talk, we can have a conversation. If it's going to be an argument, we can always argue, as long as it's not violence, right? Maybe if you win, then I'll let you know you've won. Your points are very valid. But anyways, that was a good one. It's the end of this video. If you want to see more videos like this on the channel, feel free to send me the link, send me the titles, and we'll check it out together. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Peace.